Welcome to the Blerdsnerds podcast.
Hello. Hello, friends. Are you raising your hand like we're in class right now?
No. I was trying to fix my lighting at the last minute. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
I can tell in the preview if you were like waving to like have me go faster. Like
No. You know what? I was really tired before we started this, and I think that all the work that I went through trying to get this webcam to work has given me some energy. So now I feel like I'm good to go.
For everybody that's watching us on YouTube right now, Shannon just spent a good, I would say like a half hour to 45 minutes figuring out this webcam. Doesn't she look amazing? Comment down below and tell her how awesome she looks.
I look so clear. Mel told me you could see my Funko Pops.
Funkos. Yeah. Show them off. Show off your Funkos.
No, I'm not gonna move the camera because then I'm not gonna.
Oh no, not realistically. Oh. I know how much work it took for you to put your camera in a right
Next
position.
week I have to work on the camera placement because my camera's here, but you are up here, so it looks like I'm looking up to look at you. So.
It always looks like I'm looking down. You know, our homes were not built for studios. And
can you hear me from all the way back here? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. Yeah, I can hear you. You sound lovely.
Okay, great. I just don't want to give the listeners something to complain about. Okay.
Wait, everybody give us 5 stars. Okay, you're listening.
Give us 5 stars,
guys.
Give us
5 stars if you...
Sorry, Mel.
It's okay. Give us 5 stars if you also aren't meant to work from home and your home is not an office space. Because I mean, but
to be fair, my living room wasn't really an office space either when we were recording.
It looked like, or at least for what I'm dealing with, it just was better for me.
That's true.
But that travel time on Sundays would be really hard.
You know what, guys? Like us more so that we can win some funding, so that we can create better quality content for you all. That
would be nice.
That's the goal, you know?
That would be good. Can you imagine an office space with a couch? I would love, I think if we had a couch, like my whole comfy side would come out. Like right now, because I also work in the same space right here, I'm very like in work mode, and I feel like my personality doesn't come out as much because I'm not in chill mode, if that makes sense. So I have to really try and apply that.
Mel, I'm going to try to look at you from the corner of my eye just so that I keep looking, so I look straight and not up here, you know? Just so.
Shannon.
Straining.
You should just do whatever is going to be easiest. I don't want you to like strain your eyeballs.
Anyway, guys, welcome to the Blerdsnerds podcast book club. I'm Shannon.
Woo, and I'm Mel.
And this week we're going to be going through chapters
11 through 20.
Of Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Yes. Yes, she's flashing the artwork, and then I have without the book cover and it's also very beautiful. What do you think this symbol is supposed to be?
I wish I could see that from all the way over there. Let me see. I have my own book. Duh, Shannon. Let's see. I don't know.
I just realized I don't really know what that is. So
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, it's lovely. The artist has beautiful work.
Yes. For all of you that have subscribed already, thank you. Sorry, Mom, I'm gonna cover your face again with our information. But if you haven't, you can now watch us on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to us there, and listen to us on your podcast listening app of choice. Yeah, all that good stuff. But make sure you subscribe, guys, and tell all your friends to subscribe so that we can feel motivated to do this every week. That's all.
And we do have some very interesting guests coming in the next few weeks. So
not on our book club, on our regular
podcast. Mm-hmm. So please make sure you hit all the notifications, whatever they are, bells, whistles, all that, so you can be notified when we have those awesome guests coming.
Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. And also an important note, we've been doing this episode and the last episode, we've been reviewing 10 chapters, but we're going to kick it up a notch and we're going to start reviewing 20 chapters so that we can, not be reading the book for so long.
Yes. Although I like 10 chapters because that means I can read it the day before and the day of, and
But you can still
don't
read
make
it the
it
day
don't
before.
make it to class on time, you know?
But you can still read it the day before. The chapters are not long. The chapters are like 4 pages each. You know, they're super short. So I just think that, 9 weeks is a long time to spend on one book, I think. So
Read faster, Mel, she says. Okay, did it.
So
I will.
I just think that, 20 chapters, it'll give us more ground to cover.
No,
but
you're
we'll
right.
be-
You're right. Okay.
But yeah. So the first 10 chapters were kind of like, well, there wasn't really a lot happening, but a lot more has happened in the next 10 chapters of the book that we're talking about today. I thought Inan was going to show up way later, but he showed up. He popped up. I was like, there he is.
So
That
I
was so
marked off where my chapters ended, and I was flipping through, and I was like, an Anon chapter. Oh my gosh. Yes. Let's
But
just
his
say-
chapters, his
No, you're
chapters
good.
are just so short. That's why I skipped them when I was looking for them, because they're so short.
Let's just say this is gonna be one hell of a ride because my emotions were all over the place reading this. I guess we can jump right in. So we're left off. So that, like Shannon was saying, the first 10 chapters really were just setting us up for what's about to happen. The friends find themselves less friendly in a forest, and so it kind of starts off with Zaylee and Amari kind of going at each other in a way.
Mhm.
Trying to figure out. Amari has this like fire in her. She's just like, I want to get my mom. I want to kill her. Blah 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 blah. And Zaylee's like, what are you talking about? Like, we can't. We have to survive. And Zane, who's been very quiet up to this point, just actually said starts saying stuff like, what about nobility? All the soldiers and titans on her side, all that stuff that they had originally planned. And I know that Zaylee is very adamant about basically, just being safe.
Sorry, really quickly. Is this
You're good.
chapter 11? Or did chapter 11 start with, well, first of all, Rowan left.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, I just wanted to address that really quickly because when I read that, first of all, I have had a lot of these last 10 chapters really elevated I went on a roller coaster of emotions with how I felt about Rowan. In this chapter, I thought that, some love connection was sparking. And then he left, and then they both seem sad to be leaving each other. But as we move on, my feelings will change more than once. So anyway.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's like a hell of a ride because he is like, they have pent up frustration and love for each other that hopefully they'll admit. But also Zaylee and Amari are very hot commodities, as we'll find out later on as well.
Yes. I was also back to what you were saying. Zaylee is acting like a little brat in this chapter.
Okay. Yeah.
Or in these next couple of chapters. I mean, I understand why she's mad. Her dad's dead because of magic, and her mom's dead because of magic.
Mama Ava is dead because of magic.
So we think. And yes, it was because of Amari's family, but Amari has nothing to do with that. Let the girl live.
Yeah, okay. So here's where I was very back and forth as well. And this is why I love her writing, is because she has the ability to, one, bring these characters really to life. It's almost like you're watching a show where you're like, I hate this character. I love this character. I hate this character. Like, they go very back and forth. And I agree with you, but I also see that Zaylee's point of view is just like, she wants peace, is basically what she's fighting for with them. And so I agree that they should go, but they should probably chill out for a second and kind of regroup and come up with a little plan to, get her mom before trying to charge again.
But the fact that Zaylee tried to run away and just like leave them was kind of bratty, and I didn't really like that. And I was just like, stop acting like a little bitch.
Little witch.
Because that's what she was acting like, and I didn't really appreciate that at all. But
Yeah.
so I would just wrote that she's very wrong for trying to blame Amari. It's not Amari's fault. Amari saved her life a couple times in the last book, and a lot of things were made possible because of Amari. So
I did laugh a little bit later on in the chapters when Amari's like doing certain things and like they're not going her way, and I'll explain those like once we get there.
Mhm.
Because I feel like she's almost like biting too big of a bite for like what's that saying? Biting too big for chewing a
What?
bite too big. Basically she's biting more off than she can chew.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
And so yeah, I just feel like that's kind of where she is. She has a big heart for what she's actually capable of doing. And I actually wrote, it's funny you say that about like them going back and forth and like, you know, how you feel about Zaylee at the moment. I wrote, I couldn't decipher who I agree with more. It's Zayn I agree with. I agree with him. He's just trying to keep the peace.
Yeah, Zayn is being neutral. I'm glad he's not picking sides, or so it seems right now. You know, he cares about his sister and he cares about Amari too. He
Yeah.
also, but you know, Zayn didn't go through everything that Zealy went through. So who knows if his opinion would be different if he had, you know, gone through all that stuff.
But then, Zaylee gets saucy. She becomes very snippy and she says, "Say hello to your mother for me. I'm sure she loves poor fisherman's son just as much as she loves Maji."
And that's why I said what I said. She was being a brat. And I was just like, okay, relax. That's
Yeah,
why she ran into the
unwarranted.
forest and she ended up running into a tree.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, she runs into a tree. And poor Nyla doesn't deserve getting hurt as well. So she gallops off into the distance and where she was about to come off the side of a cliff, right? And she pulled like the horns of Nyla, and then
Mhm.
she fell off, and Nyla like tried to stop, and that just didn't end up in her favor.
Yeah.
And she's just basically she's very much in despair and going to a dark place. She sort of starts asking or praying, whatever you want to consider it, for basically for her life to sort of end, which is kind of sad.
It is sad. It
And
is.
that's why I can understand her point of view of like she just wants peace for a little while, because they're just jumping from one place to another and trying to like they just nothing's going their way, whether it's losing people or like, you know, getting
Yeah.
hurt.
So when Zealy gets knocked unconscious after flying into the tree, she wakes up in a familiar place from the first book, which is the dreamscape that Inan used to bring her to with his magic. So as soon as she wakes up there, she comes to realization that Inan is alive. And I'm a little confused by how Inan's alive, but you know, whatever. I mean, I know they explain it later, but it just didn't seem realistic that he would be alive.
Yeah, once we get there, I actually want to ask I'll ask it now just so we can hold the question for later.
Mhm.
Who saved him? Like how did he end up in wherever he ends up?
Oh, we know how he gets saved. I just don't know. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it doesn't say exactly who or what pulls him away from all the danger. Like last
Yeah.
time it says in there?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Wait. Let's get to it then. Because maybe I missed it. But can I just say on page 57, when she says my ribs fractured with the loud crack, I felt that. I'm such an empath that I've like when someone tells me, "Hey, I broke my hand," or like I broke my leg, like I feel that and it hurts so bad that like I could like it's such good writing that the loud crack. I was like, "Yep, I can
I broke
imagine
my leg with a loud crack once.
that."
I did.
I I can feel that. That sounds painful.
Um, but yeah, so Inan's alive again. Don't know really how he's alive. I had a lot of questions.
Or how he
Oh,
pulled
one
her
of
into
the
the room, the dreamscape.
did you say?
Or how he even pulled her into the dreamscape.
With the little bit of strength he had left. But what I wrote down in my notes here, one was how he survived, which we find out later. I'll tell you in case you missed it. And if he was in the palace this whole time, why did the queen accuse Amari of killing him when he's alive, clearly?
Yeah.
So,
Many questions we have.
but then I'm coming to my own conclusions that like maybe her mom just wanted to paint her as the villain so that Anon can like without a problem step into power and the throne without like him trying like, without anyone trying to oppose him. But people are gonna come to realize that he's alive, and she claimed that Amari killed him. So I wonder how that's gonna go over with everybody.
I wonder if she just like did that sort of to create, like you said, an excuse and to give
Mhm.
them more time, because if people hear that she killed her brother and her father, they would be more likely to go after them
Yeah,
until he can gain his strength and actually become the next king of, you know,
Portia.
yeah. Um, so they're in the dreamscape, and he's apologizing to Zaylee, saying, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry," and she's not having it. She black tree roots explode from the ground and wrap Inan's calf,
Mhm.
and he basically is trying to explain and just say, like, apologize, and she really wants to kill him. Is basically what that.
Yeah, I thought that she would have like a little bit of a soft spot for him because I thought like maybe she still loved him a little
Mhm,
bit, but clearly I feel like all the love is gone, really, and she
yeah, no.
just it's just pure hatred now. And she definitely wants to kill him, but I don't think she's gonna kill him. Obviously, she's not gonna kill him. If she kills him, I'll be very surprised. But we'll see. But what do you
They're
think, Mel?
definitely connected, though. They're
Do you think
definitely
she'll kill him by the end? Let's place our bets now.
so. I remember in the last episode I was talking about how I think there might be some type of love triangle between them three, because so Inan and Zaylee are very much connected
Hmm.
to the point where he can be on a death's door and still manage to get her into a dreamscape. Now, I don't know if Rowan is just a distraction from all that, but I don't think they have like that strong of a connection. At least we haven't seen it yet.
Well, no, but I don't really think it's about Rowan and who she likes more. I just think it's about who betrayed her and killed her father and who didn't, you know? So,
Yeah, but in terms of them like having a little love triangle almost,
oh
I
yeah,
can
yeah.
see that
But
happening.
I don't think it's gonna be a love triangle. I don't really think that any more romance is gonna spring up between them. Like, I don't think that there's anything that Anon can do to win the kind of feeling back that she had for him before, because I don't think she'll ever be able to associate. Every time she sees him or looks at him now, she's gonna associate him with the death of her father. I don't really think there's any way to like get rid of that, you know? Because like he is the reason her father's dead. Like if
Except for the
he
fact,
didn't kill him himself, but he's the reason why it happened, you know?
yeah, except for the fact that she loves Amari as well. And if there's anyone that could possibly convince her to at least hear him out, would be Amari.
Well, that might be the reason that he lives, but they're definitely I don't think that there's any love story between them anymore. Well, I'll be very surprised actually if you know that rekindles itself. But he
Yeah,
might live.
I don't know if it'll rekindle, but he'll I don't think she'll I don't know. It's hard to tell. This book's very much a roller coaster.
Yeah. So when Zeely wakes up from the dreamscape, she wakes up to find Zane and Amari there. They went to find her.
Hmm.
Uh and Zeely lets Amari know that Inan is alive and that she plans to kill him. But yeah, like we were saying, Amari does not want him dead, and that might be a problem
Yeah.
between them because she doesn't want her brother to be dead.
Yeah, and
So,
Anon was when he wakes up, he finds himself in the palace and is very confused by everything.
but hold on.
Um,
Sorry, before we get to Inan, I just want to ask a question about Amari. How do you think that she's going to handle that when the time comes? Like, how do you think that's going to go between them?
when she actually like meets him face to face.
No, no, no. I'm talking about Zeely and Amari because Zeely wants to kill Inan. Amari doesn't want Zeely to kill Inan. She hasn't said that out loud, but that's what
Mhm.
she's thinking. So how do you think that conflict's gonna go?
Not over well. Not over. That's all I can say, because I don't see, it's so hard because the first book they were very they all had one goal, right? And
Mhm.
that's, well, at least we thought. And so it was very easy to know where everyone's emotions were put. There was no reason for Zaylee and Amari to change what they were going to do. Here now you're dealing with people whose emotions are all over the place. And one loves the brother, one hates him, one blah blah blah. And so I think that's where it gets kind of tricky. And I can't really put my finger on it exactly as to what or how it will play out.
I call right now a little like spar between Zeely and Amari. I think Zeely's gonna attempt to kill Inan, and Amari's gonna get in the way of it. I mean, yeah, Mari's gonna get in the way of it, and I think it's gonna cause like a little like actual like physical fight between them.
Between Mari and
Zaylee.
Zaylee.
I call it now, so we'll see if it happens, and then you'll know that I was right. I said it here. I said it here first, guys. I didn't skim the book, I swear.
I can see that happening as well because like I said, she wants to protect her brother, and the only person right now that's kind of on his side would be Amari. Although we don't know how Zane feels. Zane is very quiet thus far and doesn't have any chapters.
Zane didn't like Inan. Zane never liked Inan. Like he never grew on him. Zane never liked him anyway. So I feel like he'll be on Zealey's side.
He loves Amari.
That's true.
So that's what I'm saying. True. There's a little, I don't know, rectangle of loves right there.
Yes, you're correct about that. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. So Inan wakes up in the palace and is very confused. And who comes, coming out of nowhere is Mother. Mother just always happens.
Well, first, oh yeah. So he wakes up and he's confused, and then his mom comes in, and then he's trying to figure out what happened, and then I guess they're trying to drag them to safety, and then he figures out that like his palace was basically destroyed, and like Orisha is being taken over by the Ikea. We also meet his cousin in this, his cousin Orjo. I'm gonna, and we learned that Orjo is the one that saved him. So they found him. I guess the king had sent backup maybe to the temple, and I guess they got there after everything happened. So I think he found him, and then they just brought him back.
And he definitely becomes a little bit of the comic relief in Anand's life.
Yes. But also we learned, so it's just interesting to see how the nobles who don't have magic still feel about the magic, even though like the people that are surrounding them now have magic now. Mm-hmm. So I don't have the page number written down specifically, but there was a part where Inan sees Orjo staring at his white streak of hair, and he's just like, "You hate it, don't you?" And he was like, or like, "You hate me or you hate it," and he was like, "I hate it." Like it referring to magic. I don't hate you. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. Now that magic is like, now that the people that, the nobles know and love have magic, it's kind of interesting to see that they still hate it.
Yeah, it's in a later Anon chapter. I know what you're talking about because we later find out Ojore's family was killed.
Orjo is how we're going to say it.
Orjo's family was killed by Magi and the magic, and that's why he has a deep desire to hate them.
Just like the king's former family. That's why the king hated magic so much too.
So we find Zaylee waking up, her head's throbbing, her rib hurts, and Zane says to sit up and tells them to hold her down because she's trying to get up. And Sophia, a healer, goes and heals Amari and basically snaps her ribs back together.
Zealey.
What did I say?
You said Amari. It's Zealey.
Oh my gosh. Sorry. So Sophia is someone that they had just met that, surprise, surprise, doesn't hate them. And they get her to go and they find Zaylee and they heal her. Yeah, and so basically what they start telling Zaylee is that Nadia's Titans have been rounding up all the Magi east of Zarya, and that entire villages are being imprisoned in Gusao's, again, apologies for the bad pronunciations, fortress. And so that's where they want to go now to try and help all of the Magi escape.
Oh, yes, that is important. Yes. To help them escape so that they can build a Magi army so that they can help defeat. It's Nihanda, I think, is the mom's name. It's Nihanda.
Oh, Nihanda? Apologies again. You're right.
So that's the plan. Oh, but then Rowan comes, right? Rowan comes back, and this is where I thought, oh, maybe he's back to stay. And he comes back to escort Zaylee to the Ikea because they have requested her, and they paid Rowan to bring her back. And I think, is this the part where yes, this is the part where Rowan, oh no, so he comes back to escort them to the Ikea.
And this happens. So this is days after, because it starts off the chapter with saying, "Days pass, yet Zaylee's words remain trapped in my mind." So this is right after Zaylee tells Amari that her brother's alive, and that's been sitting with her. And then Rowan comes in, and everything that you said follows after that. Um,
Yeah, Rowan's only back again for the money. I thought he came back because he didn't want to leave, but he came back because he was paid to come back and get them. So
yeah.
again, flop for Rowan.
I know he's like for 3 at that point. Yes. So they agreed to go off with him, and yeah, they just feel, I feel like they feel backstabbed and blindsided, even though at this point they shouldn't by him, but he just keeps proving them once again that,
I mean, I don't think they feel backstabbed. They know that he's a mercenary. I just think that Zeli's frustrated that he keeps leaving and coming back. I think she's hoping that he'll just abandon his mercenary life and just join them, but that's not really what he's about. At the end of the day, he's a mercenary. So that's all he ever was. Like he never joined just to like help them, you know. He joined.
no, I know, yeah, for sure. I feel like she starts, because there's so many instances where he starts sort of having this little bit of care for her, and then that's kind of like ripped away. So even though they're not in a full, like, you know, entanglement, shall we call it, they definitely, I feel like her heart is a little soft to him. So whenever he does that, it's kind of like a little bit of like, that kind of sucked.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. My notes are all over the place. I'm going to label my notes next time because I just wrote things down in little paragraphs and I didn't, section off what chapter they were from. So sorry for this if I'm all over the place. So now we're back to Inan, right?
Yes, and this is where we already stated this, but just for a little bit of a recap, we find out why Ojor has animosity. Orjo has animosity against the Magi, and because of his family being killed. And we also find out that it's not actually his cousin, that the mother took him in when his family was killed.
But it is his cousin. It is still his cousin. He was his cousin, but his mom took him in when his family was killed.
It says, though not related by blood.
Does it say that? Where?
It says it at the bottom of 80. Though not related by blood, Ojor might as well been
never mind.
Their first son. Yeah. So
I read that as though not like his actual brother. She took him in like it was his own son. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't think they're actually related. I don't think they're actually cousins, but he calls him cousin, and actually Ojor calls the mother auntie. So you could definitely make that distinction that you could think that at first.
Oops. Anyway, but we learned that Inan plans to take the throne. So this is I saw this as kind of a test for Inan. Mm-hmm. So before Inan, when Inan was planning to take the throne, he said that he was going to make a better Orsha. He said that he was going to, unite the people with magic and like magic and non-magic people. But then he ended up changing his mind and saying that he didn't want magic around at all. So now it's going to be interesting to see the stance that he takes now that war has broken out with the Ikea and, the Titanes and the still the non-magic people. It's interesting to see what he plans to do now when he takes the throne and how he's going to react and what he's going to do. This is like his second chance. He's being tested. And I feel like he will still make the wrong choice. So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. And also, along with him being tested, almost internally, he's also being tested by his mom because she's putting a lot on him. First of all, your son just woke up and you're putting a lot of pressure on him. He's saying, so he says the line, "I don't want to be like him, mother. I can't." And she's taking it as, you're going to be better, like you're going to be way more, strict and stuff than your father is. Basically, be the man he couldn't be. And I think he's taking it as he doesn't want to be the monster he thinks his father was.
But his mother knows that he was a monster too. She says that. So I just think, I don't know what she means, but
I think it could be interpreted in two ways. Like, I don't know if she wants more power. Again, we don't know exactly what. I guess we don't know what her stance is yet. And like, is she trying to create peace? She has her own army, but
She's not trying to create peace. She's rounding up the Maji to kill them.
yeah.
So she's definitely not trying to.
So in that case, then that would lead me to assume that she wants him to be like a real like tough ruler.
But his father was a really tough ruler, so I don't really know what she means.
I think she wants him to be tougher.
I don't think so either, because she said that your father wasn't a good man. So I don't really know.
Maybe she is giving some personal digs there for being with the commander.
I mean, maybe,
yeah.
but I don't really. It's hard to know what she means by that. But yeah, I guess maybe she means do a better job killing all the Maji than he did.
Yeah.
I don't know. But we'll see, I guess.
Yeah. So in the next chapter is Zaylee again, and they are basically walking with Rowan to where he's going to take them.
Is this where so this is where I wrote down this quote. So again, it's another Rowan Zealy thing where Rowan is like, "Are you going to pretend you didn't call after me when I left?"
Yes, I was going to say
and then Zealy said, "Are you going to pretend like you didn't leave anyway?" And I was like,
that's it. That's it. That's
but
it.
he ends up leaving again, so I don't know.
Again.
First of all, he's doing a lot of traveling, like really fast. Back, like how much time is going by? He came and left like 3
interpretive reading.
Huh?
Should we do some like interpretive reading? I'll be Rowan. You can be Zaylee.
No.
That would be funny. Definitely the lovers quarrel. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. The love triangle. That's why I think she has a soft spot for him.
Well, yeah, but he, like I said, he came in. This is the 3rd time now that he's come and gone. I just feel like, how is he coming and going so fast? I don't get it. Anyway,
like there, and then he's not. Yes, but then he does stuff like where she says, "Honestly, Rowan cups my chin, stopping me in my tracks. See? You see? Though I don't want to do anything, his touch makes an ember flicker in my stomach."
It's obvious that they like each other. I just think that when it will be acted upon is a question. I don't.
Also, he's a little egocentric. He thinks everyone loves him.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
Very, very Rowan of him. But yes. I think it's funny how he's just like, you can tell he also kind of likes her, but he's definitely almost toying with her, a little bit of her emotions, whatever she has to actually give him, by saying things like, I knew you liked me, but to ram yourself into a tree was at the very thought of living another day without me. Like, bruh, come on.
Yeah, no, he definitely likes her too, but I think he's just holding himself back because he knows that he doesn't want to leave his life.
Yeah,
which he would have to do if they were going to be together, because how would he find her? You know?
Yeah, for sure. And then my heart became happy, a sign of light. Someone appears out of the darkness.
Yes, Mama Agba's alive.
Mama Agba.
That truly surprised me. I was like, what?
That's someone who I would want to be my grandmother. She just sounds so like kind and nice. But yeah, badass.
It surprised me that she was alive. I'm happy she's alive. At least someone is alive. So maybe it'll make Zealy feel a little better and feel like she has a responsibility, you know, now that she knows that everyone isn't dead.
Mm-hmm. And not only is she alive, but as we see in the next chapter, she has been creating what they call the rebellion.
Yes, she and actually her and Baba started the Ikea.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then we learned that Baba offered himself up so that everyone else could be safe.
Yep.
So it's not Zealy's fault that Baba's dead. Well, I mean, it is still because of magic, but I think that this makes Zealy feel a little better. And they created, they meet all these new people,
many new characters.
Yeah, part of the Ikea. I didn't write any of their names down,
so
I forgot.
We have Maisel.
Yeah,
Maisel. Actually, there's an I at the end, so I think it's like Maiseli.
Okay.
And he definitely he is not quiet about having his eye on Zaylee. Yep. He thinks she is beautiful, and he's kind of reminds me of Brock. You know how he would like,
yeah.
Like because he like
Brock or any anime male character, actually. Yes.
like hard eyes all around.
Yeah.
So we meet Maze Zelly.
Mhm.
Um, we also meet.
Kamaru?
Yes.
Yeah.
And basically what this is it so they come into this place that has three mountains. And this is where I get confused because so the Titans that are on the mother side, aren't they supposed to be patrolling the whole area and finding these people? Is this like underground? Is this
It's like behind a rock. He opens like a rock thing and like takes them down this
so it's
tunnel.
in like a mountain.
Yeah, I think so.
But
I
then there's
can really.
three
It
mountains
was
in
hard for me to visualize. It's hard for me to visualize what the
there.
place looks like. Honestly, when I was reading it, it was hard for me to picture it in my head. But we know that Maisel opens up a rock and then they go down the steps of the rock. So it's hidden, obviously, but I just don't understand where it is really.
Yeah, and then in that rock, so this is the part that kind of confuses me. In that rock, there's like three mountains, and all of them are created for different things. They have the meditation like centers. It's basically like a giant sanctuary. I was actually looking right now at the front cover on the inside, the photo of where every the map that they have, trying to
Yeah.
figure out where this is, but I don't.
I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's in the back, but anyways, basically it's a sanctuary that's actually been there nearly they say nearly as old as Orisha itself, which is very fascinating because that means they knew that potentially something could happen and that Magi needed a really safe haven to go to if something were to ever happen.
I just think it's so the leaders of the 10 clans started it basically.
Mhm.
Also the map on the back is the exact same as the one in the front. So
Thank you for that.
Yeah, so the 10 Maji leaders started it, and it's basically where all the elders like kind of sat of all of the clans.
Mhm.
So yeah,
And we're
that
also
exists.
introduced to Naomi.
Yes, Naomi, who we don't really know who she is yet or what she's gonna do, but she's there. Yeah,
And the only person that really probably people aren't a fan of, we find out, is Amari. But
yeah,
she
because
we
she's a
leave
Titan.
off the chapter with her demanding to be taken to the elders. So she
Yes.
has some business she wants taken care of.
Yep. People are not gonna like her because she's a Titan, but you know, she's really the only hope of them getting some real change. She has to get on the throne, so I feel like they'll warm up to her relatively quickly. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and that's where we're at. Chapter
Yeah.
20, right there.
Chapter 20. So next week, I guess we will be reading chapters 21 through 40. Chapters 21 through 40.
Mhm.
And we'll have a longer episode because there'll be more to talk about.
Oh my
But
God, so many more notes.
yes, it'll be okay though. It'll be okay.
There's just a lot that happens. So, but
Mhm.
I think we're doing a good job covering it for
Yeah.
the most part.
So, if you have any questions or concerns or thoughts about the book and where it's going, you can leave us a comment on, on our YouTube channel, or you can leave us a comment. You can write us on Instagram. You can send us an email. You can do so many things. So many things. Yeah.
The options are endless, really.
Maybe we should stream book club live so that people can ask live questions.
We could do that.
That makes me so nervous.
Should we start a Patreon?
No, we can't start a Patreon because it's already on here.
Yeah, but then we could give people the link.
Yeah, but I don't think this is something that we started Patreon for because it is exactly the same as we're doing now. You know,
I have ideas. We'll see.
This is not something that we're doing here. Anyway, as always, I'm Shannon.
I'm Mel.
Thanks for listening, guys. See you next week.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.